you're not in your country. False. It's false niceness. It's not real. It was a culture shock to me. So be careful with the women. It's willful scamming. You have to watch your back. I think that's one of the biggest mistakes that Westerners make.
So please tell us your name and where you're from, just to remind our viewers.
Reggie from Ohio, USA.
How long have you been here in the Philippines?
Off and on, like maybe 2-3 years, something like that.
What has been the biggest lie about the Philippines for you?
Ooh, that's a big one.
I'm coming out the gate, bro. I'm shooting this at you.
Is it more fun in the Philippines?
Is it?
Sometimes it's not.
Right,
It really depends. I would say that the biggest lie is that everyone's nice. It's a common misconception because when people come out here, they see, oh yeah, everybody's saying hey and how you doing and this and that and sir and ma'am, and okay, well, I'll give you a scenario. The money goes away or you leave, it's a wrap. Stay for longer than a month, no one's gonna be nice anymore. They're gonna be mean, they're gonna look at you differently. It's gonna be fucked up when I say this, but honestly, if you are a white guy, then yeah, the niceness never ends. So you can be like, oh my god, it's so great here, but nah, it's gonna be a time where people will be like, okay, you don't have any money today? Okay, no, we're not talking to you. Yeah, so it does change from time to time. But I mean, false. It's false niceness. It's not real.
You have any specific stories, anything that's happened to you maybe that you want to share?
There was one time I went to a hotel and I was checking out and I was sitting in the lobby and I think the owner came out. The owner came out and he's like asking people like, hey, do you want to extend your stay or whatever? He asked everybody except me. Now I don't know, maybe he just didn't see me or whatever, because I mean, to be fair, I was sitting by the window. But he didn't approach me. But he approached the Chinese guy, he approached the Korean guy, didn't approach me. I'm guessing it's because he's like, oh yeah, that motherfucker's gonna leave. He's not gonna stay. He's gone. He's not gonna be here anymore. So that's what happened. I mean, it was strange to me because I was just like, okay, well, everybody was nice to me when I checked in. Oh, hey, how you doing? Here's your key card, Mr. So-and-so. Okay, have a nice day. You know, oh, hey, can we get your bags? Can we get this? Can we get that? But didn't ask me to stay longer. I didn't do anything wrong. He just didn't ask me to stay longer.
Yeah, when was the first time you came to the Philippines?
2017.
Okay, so almost 6-7 years.
Yeah, that was the first time I came. And I did not know what I was getting into at all. I remember booking the ticket, and then the night before, I was just like, what did I do? Like when I got on the plane, and then I stayed on the plane, and 5 hours turned to 10 hours, and then it was like, oh my god, what did I do? It didn't really hit me what I did until I got out of Naya International, and I'm looking around, and I'm like, what the hell is this? Why am I here? And these people started like asking me for stuff, and you know, I mean, I'd never been to any other country ever. That was the first country I ever went to. Well, I mean, besides my stopover. So I guess technically the first country I ever been to was Taipei, outside of America. Count. I mean, it can. Why not? Yeah, it can.
Right.
It's stamped on my passport, so it counts. But yeah, I mean, and I was just like, wow, this is so different, and it was a culture shock to me. Like how many people I saw that were really poor. Not saying I look down on poor people. I mean, I respect them the same because yeah, we all end up in a spot once or twice in our lives.
Yeah.
But I guess it surprised me because in America, you're driving down the street, oh, you see somebody with a sign. Okay, that's once every what, 2-3 weeks, something like that. But that was just like, oh my god, like they're everywhere. And the next culture shock that happened was nobody was around to help me cross the street, or should I say, there was no traffic device to really help me cross the street. So I had to figure it out on my own. And I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. I don't know how this is gonna work. So, but I think the biggest thing that shocked me was how fast-paced everything was. I didn't think it was fast-paced.
You know, Philippines island time, that people are always like relaxing, So do you think it matters on which city you are, or do you have a general idea of which you think is a fast pace or more relaxed, like some people say?
Oh, there's definitely a difference between the province and the city. It's just like in America, you know, the country is different from the city. Um, but I think that there is a, what I used the word malaise, I think it'd be a malaise. It was a malaise of just like nobody really wanted to do anything. Like, for example, I had an air conditioner break on me, and I called for a guy to come fix it. He says, "Yeah, I'll come today. I'll come today." You think it's bad when you're waiting for the cable people to come, and they say between 1 and 5, and you're like, when are they coming? They come at 5. It's always 5. It's never anything earlier. But that guy came 3 days later.
3 days.
I'm never complaining about Comcast ever again. Never again.
Speaking of complaints, anything that you quite haven't really adjusted to, or you still have trouble daily? What is it?
I got one. Okay. It's kind of going to reflect on what we just talked about before. So you can't go complain like you would in America. We call it complaints, but it's technically corrections, right? Like, hey, you go to McDonald's. Hey, I was asking for a Big Mac. You give me a quarter pounder. Okay, that's severely looked down upon here. Severely looked down upon, because the culture is that if you correct me, you're saying I'm stupid, you're insulting me. Why? So the one thing as an American that is hard to get used to is correcting somebody, like saying, "Hey, look, you know, you gave me the wrong thing." I still do it, and my girlfriend complains about it. She's like, why are you complaining? I'm like, because like it's my hard-earned money. It wasn't correct. I need the correct thing that I asked for. I want what I ordered.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely don't complain. I learned that the hard way. But I only save it for really severe things. Like, okay, I was supposed to get like a 10-piece, you gave me like a 4-piece. Okay,
Yeah.
then I'm going to say, hey, I need this, right? But if it's something small like, oh, you forgot the cheese, just let it go. Just let it go. Let it go.
What about like you mentioned your girlfriend, the province a little bit. So do you normally live in the city itself or on the outskirts of town? I know I think you live a little bit further away, right?
Go back and forth.
What are the challenges of differences? People that don't really know the difference between Cebu City and, let's say, you know, Car or somewhere different. Is there like a major difference, or?
It's exposure and education, which is actually surprising, because you think that the same information will be available nationwide, but it's not. Instead, it's more of like, it's siloed. It's all siloed in the cities. Like, the cities know most of everything, and then when you go to the province, it's like, I mean, there are people that still haven't really been exposed to different ethnicities in provinces. I'll go to a province and everyone looks at me like, what is this guy? Who is this guy? What is this thing? What's his hair? They look at you like, you know, like you're a science experiment or some shit. But that's how it is, you know. That's just the province. The province is very different. But in the city, it's more westernized. It's more fast-paced, and you know, things get done a little quicker. But it's still on island time. Still on island time, but it gets done a little bit quicker.
Okay. Is there a common mistake you see a lot of Westerners and foreigners make when it comes to the Philippines that you just can't wrap your mind around? How can these guys still keep doing the same
Entitlement.
thing?
Entitlement and lack of understanding. My litmus test to figure out if somebody just landed here is to watch how they interact with a restaurant staff. Man, it's taking too long. What's going on? What are they doing back there? You just got here. I know you just got here, because if you've been here for a while, you're like, all right, I know it's gonna take them a little while, even if it's just a simple French fry. Okay, cool. I know it's gonna take some time. That's one of the biggest things that tells me if somebody just got here, and I think that's one of the biggest mistakes that Westerners make, is thinking that it's like at home, and then it's followed by, well, in America or in the West, whatever country you want to fill in, we do it like this. And I'll tell you, like a Filipino told me, and at first I was kind of mad about it, but it's true. You're not in your country. You're not. You're here. So you got to get that out of your head. You're not there. They're here. You're playing by their rules, their time.
Okay. Mm-hmm. A lot of guys still have this complaint that, oh, Filipinos are scammers, or they scam me. Any insight about men still getting scammed in the Philippines or what they perceive to be scammed?
It's willful scamming, but they don't realize that it's willful until after they've learned the lesson a couple times. Because, you know, like I was telling you earlier, a lot of people, when they come out here, this is the first kind of attractive female attention. I'm not gonna say it's the first female attention they ever get, but attractive female attention, and that's a hell of a drug. It's a hell of a drug, and what it'll do is it'll make you agree to things that you normally wouldn't, because when you've done it and you've been scammed, in hindsight, you look at it and you say, oh my god, I was an idiot. How did I even fall for that? Her dog was sick? Of course her dog wasn't sick. Her dog is still alive. But you went on ahead and sent the money anyway.
Yeah.
You know? And it's easy. It's a thing. Look it up. It's called pretty people privilege. Okay?
Yeah.
Very real. You're more willing to trust someone that's more attractive than somebody that's just normal or ugly. Can I be real and say ugly? I mean,
Yeah, of course.
yeah,
Yeah,
they're ugly.
I mean, that's why people trust me, because I'm handsome as fuck.
Well, dang, I guess we got the same problem.
I know, right? All right.
Yeah.
So now, last time I asked you if you were going to go back to the U.S., and I can't quite remember. I want to know your thoughts about that now. You think you're going to make Philippines your home? Any thoughts of going back? Do you regret coming here? What do you think right now?
Okay, well, let's break it down. So I do have plans on going back for sure. Home is always the USA. I'm an American, right? But I could see this place being like a second home, somewhere to come to. Like, you know, okay, well, I'm getting tired of the hustle and bustle in America. Okay, cool. Well, then let's go ahead and come out here for a slower pace. You know, kind of slow down a little bit. But I regret it? Sometimes, and in some aspects, yes. But there are many things that outweigh the regrets. So I'll start with the positives. I love the weather. I know I'm sweating like a pig in a fucking slaughterhouse, but you know, hey, I'm okay. I'm all right. I like the fact that I'd rather be sweating than freezing to death. You know, but the beauty out here, I mean, like, everything is beautiful. You take like a trip, you ride anywhere, and the next thing you know, you look outside the window if you're taking a bus and you just see blue water for as long as you can see it, and then you just think to yourself, wow, this is a beautiful creation. It's beautiful. And the people, I know it's gonna sound so contradictory, but the people are nice.
Mm-hmm.
But the regret that I have is that you have to watch your back a little bit more. You can't really be as aggressive as you were in your home country, right? Because the issue now is this. Okay, you get in trouble out here, it's even worse. It's not like, oh, you go spend a night in county if you get into a fight. No, you're gonna get deported and you're gonna get fees, and
the stakes are higher.
Stakes are much higher, right? And you have to also be careful with the women. And I mean, that they're nice, they're good looking, they're cool, but you got to be careful because they got the game better than you. I mean, you could be the smoothest talker, you could be the smartest man in the world, you will get outsmarted. You will get outsmarted. I mean, it's women.
Yeah.
It's women. I mean, they outsmart us from birth, you know? So you have to be very observant, and I think that takes extra work. Sometimes foreigners are not willing to do that because they want to just act like everything is fine. Then they spend all their money, and then when the money's gone up, reality sets in. Oh my God, why did I do all this? Oh my God, they don't like me anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What has been like a stereotype about the Philippines that is true, you think?
They like to party.
Yeah.
They love partying. Oh my God, there's a party for everything. Like, I guarantee you, right now, you can throw a dart on a calendar and hit a date, and I bet you can ask around, is there a fiesta in this barangay? Yes, there's a fiesta every day, everywhere. It doesn't matter what. There's a party for this. There's a party for Sinulog. There's a party for Christmas. There's a party for the party. Like,
Yeah.
parties everywhere.
They love partying.
Love partying. That's a true stereotype. Oh, a better stereotype. Filipinos can sing. Yes, indeed. I have not met a Filipino or Filipina that can't sing. They all can sing very well.
I think it's from experience, right? Growing up, everybody loves singing.
Exactly.
Okay.
Karaoke. And you know what? If a Filipino tells you that you can sing, you probably can sing.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
And you mentioned barangay a little bit earlier. What's it like living in a community of Filipinos as one of the many or few foreigners? Do you sense like acceptance or rejection, anything specific, or just normal living here?
There's a lot of assumptions. A lot of assumptions. They assume you're probably wealthy. Oh, you got all this money. So sometimes what happens, not everywhere, but sometimes what happens is they'll charge you more. They'll charge you much more. Here we are, we're sitting at the social, okay? This is a foreigner magnet everywhere. This bottle of San Miguel Light, typically at the gas stations like 45 pesos, 50 pesos. So for the American viewers, anywhere between like 95 cents to $1. Okay, not bad for a beer. But here, it's $2.20, which is like $5, right? So the prices change on you, and if you don't point it out or you don't talk about it, oh yeah, they're gonna fucking take advantage of you. You have to be smart about it, and just be aware that that does happen.
Okay.
But other than that, provincial people tend to be pretty nice and pretty easygoing. They're a little bit more understanding. Sometimes they may not know English as well as the city. You have to find simpler words. I've learned that over the years. I've had to kind of shift my vocabulary because I have to use simpler words and simpler phrases, because sometimes it's just like, wait, what is that? I don't know what that is. You have to explain it. You have to re-explain it. So that's a challenge that you could definitely run into out in the province. And you just have to be aware of, you know, who you're talking to, why you're talking to them, what they want.
Any final words for Americans or foreigners that have never been here, want to come here? Would you encourage them, discourage them, anything at all you want to share?
I'll tell you what, if you're feeling like there's a lot of division and discourse in America and everything, I would say leave home. Leave home. Not to run away, not to be somewhere that, you know, that runs away from the problems, but just go somewhere else to gain perspective, right? Because I understand things now more than I did when I just was purely in America, because when you're there, you don't see the world. Instead, you just see everything through like the camera that goes out there and records the information, the reporter that tells you what happened. That's all you see. You don't necessarily see what's going on. And it'll help you to not only understand things more, but to appreciate where you live more. Because there are things that used to aggravate the shit out of me when I lived in America. But now that I've been here, oh, I'm so appreciative now. I'm so appreciative. You think traffic lights are terrible? I miss them. Because you know what? It prevents traffic. It does. That's the whole purpose of a traffic light, right? And it's so little. It's just one example, but you know, I've gained a lot of perspective being here. And I think that every American should leave home, go see other places. It doesn't even necessarily be the Philippines. Anywhere you want to go to. Because what you're going to learn is that not everywhere is like home. And there are some positive things about some cultures you can take back with you. And there's some negative things you can leave there, but you know, hey, I'm not taking that back with me, and I'm not going to propagate that. And another thing that's a big one is you learn a lot more about your position as an American in the world. Like, what do they think of us? What do they think of you? And at that point, you have a choice. You can either be an ambassador for good and try to make a positive image for Americans, or you can be ignorant and mean and give us a bad name. I try my best to do as best as I can to represent Americans and, you know, African Americans as well, by just spreading a positive light. It's really hard to do so, especially when there's a lot of rumors swirling around. But if you find a way to do that, then you put one extra brick in the world just being a little bit better. So
Awesome.
Do that.
Thank you so much, man. I appreciate your time.
You're welcome.
Leave your comments down below. Let me know what you think of Reggie's story and his experiences. This time we gave him ample time to give us his answers. If you don't know, that's the second time on the channel. The first time I ran out of memory. I ran out of space on my memory card. So this time I was well prepared. If you guys haven't seen that one, check it out right here. And if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.